Hello, this is Veterans News, a production of the United Veterans Organization of Nassau County. My name is Ed Allman. I'd like to thank Altice USA for providing the training for our crew and for the use of their studio facilities here in Hauppauge. The show is broadcast on public access channels at a time we hope is convenient for you. In fact, we're shown on more places than we knew had public access TV. I'd like to say hello to our viewers in both Nassau and Suffolk County. In fact, we're looking for a new co-host, someone who will add a Suffolk County viewpoint to the show. So if you know someone that could be a co-host on Veterans News, please email me at veteransnewsuvo@gmail.com. That's veteransnewsuvo@gmail.com. Okay, I'd like to thank our crew. Where are we? Okay. I'd like to thank our crew. On camera 1, we have Jim Hessler. On camera 2, Al Zabrowski. On camera 3, Loretta DeBrino. On camera 4, no, we don't have 4 cameras. We only have 3 cameras. That's a joke. Our technical director is Robert Lane. Our floor manager is Beverly Allman, who I know fairly well, and our guest director is Pat Gulino. Thank you, Pat. By the way, if you'd like to ask me a question about the show or make any comment about the show, email me please at veteransnewsuvo@gmail.com. Our guests today, we have 2 guests. Bruce Blanco, did I say that name right?
Yes, you did.
Blanco, from the Suffolk County American Legion Writers, and Peter Foltmer. I said it right? I tried to say it wrong.
It's okay.
Foltmer.
Foltmer, it's fine. It's all good.
I don't think I got it right yet. But anyway, Peter's from Elmont with the Legion Writers of Elmont.
Yep.
Not the Nassau County Legion Writers.
Post 1033.
Post 1033 Elmont Legion Writers. Okay, we'll talk to our guest in a few minutes, but first, here's the veterans who died recently. Ralph Osberg, a proud Army Korean War veteran. John Ciccarelli, member of the Quinton Roosevelt Post of the American Legion. Bob Morga, a recipient of the Medal of Valor and Korean War veteran, and a veteran that I knew. James Kenny, a proud U.S. Navy veteran. James Priestley, a Navy veteran who served in the late 70s and early 80s. John Russell, a Navy veteran, served in the Pacific during World War II. William Funk, a Cold War veteran of the U.S. Navy. Vincent DeLuca, an Army veteran. Thomas Maddox, a World War II veteran and an Air Force reservist. Harry Stein was a corpsman who served at Iwo Jima. James Forty, a proud Army veteran who served with General Patton at the Battle of the Bulge. Eugene Sard, a Navy veteran who joined the war just before the atomic bomb ended World War II. Francis Gill was an Army Air Corps veteran of World War II. And Frederick Gunter, an Army veteran of World War II. Robert Sitkovac, a Vietnam veteran and chief of the Lynbrook Fire Department. Gerald Ciano was a Vietnam veteran who died of a rare disease caused possibly by his association with Vietnam. It was called the liver fluke disease. So there's being a lot of interest in liver fluke now. Arthur Finley was a U.S. World War II, U.S. Marine Corps, World War II veteran from Elmont, the Elmont Post. And John Ball was a Vietnam veteran who our guest is familiar with. Okay, if you know a veteran who would like to hear his name mentioned on this part of the show, just email me, please, at veteransnewsuvo@gmail.com. Okay, that's the end of Veterans News. Now it's the time for our guests. Peter?
Yes.
Welcome, Peter. And Bruce?
Correct.
Okay. Gentlemen, you're not veterans.
That's correct.
I believe you're both sons of the Legion.
Yes.
Okay. What did you do? What did you do as a job?
As a civilian, I was a police officer, so I'm retired at this time.
Okay.
And that's when I joined the American Legion. Became a rider very shortly after that.
Okay. And I understand you lost a son?
Yes, my son was in the Marines. I lost him 7 years ago now.
Okay, so that's how you actually became a son of the Legion, but you're a father of a Legion.
Yes.
You're a father of
the way the American Legion works, you have to be a son, it has to go backwards in your family tree. It can't go forward. So even though my son died, that does not entitle me to become a member of the American Legion. It would have to be father, grandfather. You know, it would have to be in the past.
Okay. Bruce?
Peter.
You're Peter.
Yes, sir.
Peter and Bruce. I knew you before before this class started.
It's all good.
Anyway.
It's all good. I'm a member of the Sons of the Legion, director of the Legion Riders, and I've been with the Sons for over 14 years or so, and I'm now currently the director of the Legion Riders.
Okay.
And,
You're the son of what?
I'm a family member. I have two family members that had served.
Was your father served?
No, he did not.
Okay, you had brothers that served.
I have relatives that served.
Oh, all right, very good. What did you do for a living?
I work in the building department, Village of Hempstead, and my title's code enforcement.
Okay, you're code enforcement now, but didn't you do something before
Yeah,
that?
I had my own business for over 20 years, and my own business, painting, carpentry. Yep.
Okay. Bruce, you were a policeman?
Yes, I was.
For how long?
22 years.
22 years. My father was a policeman for 22 years. Something about 22, that's the...
Usually 20. 20's the number.
Oh.
But anything after that, you're okay.
Where were you?
Here in Suffolk County.
In Suffolk County?
Yes.
Okay, what precinct with you?
I've been throughout precincts, but the last was Highway Patrol.
Highway Patrol?
Yes.
Were you on a motorcycle on
No,
Highway Patrol?
I was on, my last assignment was on the expressway. So I was one of the expressway cars.
One of the rotten expressway police.
There you go.
Oh, boy. No, I honestly, I obey the law all the time, and I keep looking in my rearview window to see who's following me. Great. So this is the first time we had non-veterans on, but I imagine that a lot of what you're doing is for veterans.
Yes, it is. It's being with the American Legion Riders, we do pretty amazing stuff to get to know these veterans. I feel very humbled to have known a lot of these veterans many years ago, and between Pearl Harbor survivor, Frank Casanova, different veterans over the years, that have made our country great.
Yeah, Frank Casanova, that's a familiar name.
We actually have two Frank Casanovas from our post. Pearl Harbor Frank, as he's known for, and we have Skippy Frank Casanova, and he did New York Harbor. He guarded New York Harbor during World War II. He's currently 100 years old.
Wow.
And our riders took him golfing one day, and that's what he loves is golf. And
yeah,
we do different things, escorts, funerals. We currently have one coming up for ourselves, and Bruce does also, having somebody that's close to our family, in American Legion, and it's.
We're the American Legion Riders, so we're the motorcycle guys, and we're here to support our heroes. We're here to support, our veterans, families, and our community. So whatever we're able to do, we're all volunteers. Everything we do, we're doing, it's a volunteer basis, so whatever funds we're able to raise, 100% goes back to our veterans. Whether it's when we're at the VA, visiting the veterans there, whether it's doing funerals and supporting the families of the fallen. We try to do whatever we can. I was appointed as chairman this last year, and We're
chairman of the
Suffolk County American Legion Riders.
Okay.
And the biggest thing I see is there's a lot of good organizations out there, all trying to support our vets. These heroes gave part of their life for us, so now I feel we're paying back.
Yeah.
I know in my case, some of my riders are veterans. Some are sons. Some come from auxiliary. The women, I have Shannon King. That she's one of the women auxiliary.
Right.
So even a supporter. You don't have to be a veteran. You could be a supporter. We need as many people as we can to help us do what we do.
By the way, if anyone would like to join the Suffolk County Legion Riders,
correct,
or through Nassau County through Elmont, you have to see the end of the show, because we're not allowed to say a phone number during the show. It's against some regulation. But we do have your phone numbers on the credits. So I hope everyone who's interested pays attention to the credits, because you'll see the phone number for both your organizations.
Right.
And I think you have a website, or if...
Yes, our post has a website. Any information's there. Our post is gaining a lot of membership coming into our post, because they're riders, they're veterans, they're sons, and we do good things on motorcycles.
You have a website. Can you say what the website is?
www.elmontpost1033.org.
Okay, www.elmontpost1033.org.
You come to our website and you can look up for Legion Riders, our post. But traditionally, to start up, our riders are one of two Legion Riders in Nassau County. I think, Bruce, you have...
I have 6.
You have 6 different posts, American Legion Riders. To me, it's about networking, and maybe there's 5 guys. You need 5 guys traditionally to start your new chapter.
Right.
We started up a bunch of years ago, and we have about 22 guys right now from different American Legions. You don't have to join our post. You could be from Seaford, Mineola, Hempstead.
Right.
We have guys. Past County Commander, Frank Neal.
Frank Neal.
Frank Neal is a member of our Legion Riders. We're very proud of him.
Frank Neal is not a little guy.
No, he is not, but he's a good guy.
What kind of bike does he ride?
He has a Polaris 3-wheel motorcycle.
3-wheel.
3-wheel.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Yep. No, we participate in other people's events. Massapequa had their unveiling of their 9/11 memorial. We do Hempstead's parade, but like Bruce had said, we do escorts. Everybody does different things, and you try to do the best thing you can, as much as you can. We're all volunteers, and if I don't say thank you to my wife and all our Legion Rider wives, I would be knocked about that, because the wives really
our family support us. I believe I was talking before, we've never been so busy as now with the American Legion. We're constantly getting people that come up to us, how can I help, how can I help? They and they don't all have to be veterans. They don't all have to be, there's always a way. If you want to volunteer your time to help a family, to help a veteran, we'll find a way. And that's something that's so very important. I know for myself, also with Pete, we have our families pushing us. Without our families behind us, we couldn't do what we do. It takes it's a lot of time, and it's so. At the end of the day, if you are able to help a family, we just finished up the holiday season now, so we just finished up and we did a Thanksgiving run to veterans and their families in need. Everyone goes through hard times. So what we actually do is we deliver Thanksgiving meals. So we go around, and it's a cold day, but we go around on the motorcycles. We have escort vehicles. One of my guys has a PT Cruiser that once you see it one time, you'll never forget it.
Oh.
But it's completely wrapped. It's actually autographed by a lot of veterans, a lot of everyone.
Yeah.
But he goes throughout the country, and we go throughout, and we deliver meals to people in need. And just seeing the reaction, or being woken up by the motorcycles coming down the road.
Right.
It's a nice experience.
Well, I know that you do a lot of funerals. How do you get involved in that?
From the American Legion, you have to be requested by a family member, by a friend, to do a funeral for a veteran. Once we're contacted by someone to do a funeral, we do whatever we can. So what we'll do is we'll go down to the funeral parlor, we'll speak to the director, we'll speak to the family. And we try to make it just a little bit easier for the family at a terrible time. So we'll be there, we'll stand a flag line, we'll escort the whole funeral procession to the funeral cemetery.
Right.
And then they conduct a service with full military honors. So my feeling has always been, if we could do anything for any one of our veteran heroes to make it just a little easier for their family, that's what we're going to try to do.
Right. Very good. I notice you have a lot of patches on your outfit there. Can you tell us what they are?
Well, our back patches identify us as American Legion riders. In the center, it actually has American Legion on it. And then it's broken up into which post we belong to and the area. Myself, I'm part of Green Lawn, Post 1244. Peter's part of Elmont.
Right.
So that breaks that up. On the front of our vest, obviously we have some very important things: the American flag, the
Okay.
POW, MIA,
Both that.
and the post we belong to. My position is president.
Okay.
Pete is director.
Peter's the director.
On
What's
this,
the difference between president and director?
there is none. It's one of the same, to be honest.
Okay.
Once we started the bylaws,
Right.
we had a director.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just a word. On this side, we have our particular post has a little different patch which identifies our post.
Uh-huh.
And then most motorcycle riders are given some sort of nickname. So the nickname that was given to me was MacGyver.
MacGyver.
That's-
That's the television guy.
Yes, it is. If there's something that has to be fixed in one way or another, we get it
Okay.
fixed. And underneath that is the Gold Star patch for my son.
Right.
It's every one of us in our vest. It's very personal. The veterans that we ride with will have the command they were in, usually the unit, whether it was Army,
Right.
Navy.
Unit patch or
Yeah, it's all very special. Every patch is either given to you by someone or not. When I was a police officer, I actually had received a patch from the Secret Service when I was on a detail for the president. So everything we have, has a meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that's typical for most motorcycle riders. It's just not something you buy in a store and throw on.
Yep.
Peter, what is that second?
Well, like I said, with the Sons, that makes me eligible to be a part of the Riders, and to me, just a little honor that we were a part of back in the day, a few years ago with 9/11. After 9/11, as group Ride to Recovery, they would escort veterans.
The Ride to Recovery?
Ride to Recovery. If you look down on that on the website now, it's what is it? They do honor rides now. But back in the day, you would go from, they called it the Minuteman Run. We'd do them throughout the country. There was 6 runs maybe throughout the country. This one year we did Minuteman Run. They came down to Orient Point. We escorted to Glen Cove, all in one day. Then the next day we went from Glen Cove to Ground Zero.
These are Marines, or not Marines, these are servicemen that are recovering?
Veterans that are riding bicycles.
Riding bicycles.
Basically the camaraderie for them to be together. Support people. There's all sorts of, you might have somebody that was injured by a bullet, but you also have people injured by PTSD.
Yeah.
You talk about all the suicide rate that's going on. How many people are dying per day? This Project Miller, 22+1. 22 veterans take their lives, and 1 active duty member takes their life every day. We were a part of an escort. We picked up in Delaware. We went to East Islip. It's a humbling thing. Sometimes you have PD support, and they're wonderful. And sometimes you're doing things on your own.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to be supportive to save their energy if they're riding their bicycles. It's just amazing to be a part of. You know,
Yeah.
I feel humbled being the director of our riders, and different members. Everybody can't make everything.
Yeah.
Like the way Bruce is with the Suffolk County, and he is, like he had said before, trying to get all the posts together. And we're trying to reach out. The county, New York State Commander came down, and Bruce asked us to come and part of an escort. And in that escort, we were pretty much just following behind, just trying to help out. But the New York State Commander came down, and they had a nice dinner, and Bruce asked us to be a part of it. And that's why I feel very lucky. Bruce and his guys are what they do for unclaimed veterans, for the funerals.
What do you do for unclaimed veterans?
Part of our post, we actually have a few of our gentlemen, and the man in charge, John Calderari, is in charge of it's called a Missing in America Project Mission. And we have thousands of veterans that have died throughout the years and are sitting in funeral homes, been unclaimed. Either the family lost track of them, or one reason or another. So what John and his crew does is they actually have to, the paperwork is incredible what they have to go through, but they go from funeral home to funeral home, crematory. They try to locate every veteran and that has no family. And from that point, we have one coming up this week. From that point, we take over and we give them a proper military service. So we will find out where they are, we'll escort them out to a national cemetery and give them the proper burial. So that's something that I wish we didn't have so many, but we have so many veterans that are unclaimed, and that's one of the things we do. It doesn't.
I didn't realize that there were remains of unclaimed veterans in so many funeral homes.
Hospitals.
Hospitals.
One year we had like 18 veterans.
Really?
And every overpass from Nassau County all the way out to Calverton had an arch with the fire departments. All had the flags to try and bring attention to these veterans. However, no one looks at why they're not claimed. Bottom line is, like Bruce said, for their guys or anybody to give them a proper burial.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's very sad, but like they say when they do a service, whoever's there at that moment, for whatever reason, why they're by themselves, they're not by themselves that day. As they say, we are their family, whoever's a part of it, which is very touching to be a part of.
We stand in as their family for that day.
Very
and
good.
Not a single one of our veterans should ever be forgotten.
Very nice.
And just a few years ago, I know we had done one. There were 43 veterans that all got, we had in one ceremony.
Really?
43. The oldest gentleman, which I had the pleasure of, we escorted out to Long Island National, he was killed, and he was in the Spanish-American War.
You know, I was wondering how that the people that hold on to these remains, whether it's a hospital or it's a funeral home, how do they know that the person they have there is a veteran?
Everything's marked, but that's one of the things that John and his guys do. They have to be 100% sure. They have to trace back. They have to make sure, the records.
Right.
Some of the older military records weren't that good. So that work, you have to be computer savvy. You have to, it takes quite a bit of time to do a single service.
Okay. We don't have much time left. Is there anything that you want to show me here?
Again, our Legion Riders, we do a bike blessing every year, and to get everybody together, different groups participate. Full Throttle Magazine was nice enough to give us a full page this year. We felt very honored to be a part of.
Can you show the
I don't know.
Let's see if we can show that on the screen. There you go.
Full Throttle
There you
magazine.
go. Okay.
And we felt very honored about that. We have a page that we take.
Let's see. There you go.
I'm sorry.
There we go. Very good.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, we have our guys. We participate in a thing called Rock Out Cures. Four guys lost somebody to some sort of illness, and they do amazing things. And we try to help participate. It's all in the community in Franklin Square. It's called Rock Out Cures. You know, again, like we're coming upon. I know the date of the taping, but Pearl Harbor Day is coming upon, and we did have a Pearl Harbor survivor at our post, and it was, again, Bruce and I did not serve, but to be a part of and to get to know these members, these veterans, it's to be a part of their lives for whatever good, bad, or ugly, or anything. But the bottom line is they were veterans, and a lot of these guys were maybe loved at their posts. We had Big Al, Curial. He used to open our post from 12 to 5 o'clock every day, religiously. Gave his life to our American Legion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the American Legion riders do so much for so many, and I hope anyone that's able to or wants to volunteer a little of their time, calls, and joins a post. It doesn't matter if it's with our post. My particular post, we do approximately 150 missions a year.
150 a year.
Yes.
It's only 365 days in a year. You do a mission about every other day?
Well, that doesn't include assisting other organizations as well.
Wow.
So we definitely keep busy. There's a need, and again, it's we're not asking for money for ourselves. Everything we get, we give to the veterans. It's 100%. So it's and it's tax deductible.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of tax deductible, we just recently had Long Island Bait. Why don't you mention about them, the motorcycle? They bring a motorcycle awareness, safety awareness, and they just had a motorcycle run, and they did a disbursement, and I felt very lucky to be a part of that, Bruce, and with Jim, from Long Island Bait, what they do for raising awareness for safety, motorcycle safety, and.
Yeah, we get involved with a lot of organizations. Long Island Abate is a motorcycle safety organization bringing awareness to that there's motorcycles on the road and for drivers to be aware.
Yeah.
They heavily are into veterans. Last year they raised approximately $178,000.
That's something I haven't heard of. Do you have fundraisers?
Yes.
How do you have them? I haven't heard of a fundraiser for a motorcycle organization ever.
For us, it's hard because we're always active doing something. I know this last month we had done, it was our first, it was a craft fair fundraiser.
Craft fair?
Craft fair. So we had vendors, we had food, we had a little of everything that was there. And you're not raising a lot of money at one time because we're motorcycle riders. We're not fundraisers.
Yeah.
I wish I was a little better at it. But again, if we were able to raise a little bit, that money is going to be turned over, for food for veterans, going to be going to the holidays for our veterans. So it's it's a great thing.
All right, we're just about out of time. Do you have anything you want to say to the crowd? I know what I want to say. Please check out the credits at the end of our show. They're very important. It has the phone numbers for these two men and their organizations. If you want to call or you want to join, read the credits and write down the phone number. Very important.
Bottom line is like our little motto is we ride to honor those who have passed, who have served, or are currently serving our country. Thank God for our veterans and for any part anybody has done for our country. We have the UVO, but Bruce,
Yeah, and just like I know my son Michael passed. If any veteran out there needs assistance that we can help with, call us. If we do not know directly, we'll try to point you in the right direction.
Good. Thank you very much. And you'll see the credits any second.
Ed says we were getting a surf and turf breakfast.
Yeah.